were playing in the yard, just, your typical normal spring day. And I fell backwards. And when I fell backwards, you kind of looking back right there in the wood line, I saw this massive creature. And it shocked me. It didn't scare me. I was like, wow. And it just kind of looked at me like, I'm glad somebody's having a good time, and it didn't look mean. It didn't have a hateful look on it. It was just kind of curious and almost happy looking. But my dog did not like it. It turned and ran the other way. Not a yelp, not a bark, not a nothing. And I didn't see him for a day or two. He went and hid. But this creature was kind of a cinnamon looking brown, and its skin was brown, and it was very, very majestic. It almost emanated pride in itself. And when it turned around and walked back into the woods, it just did. I mean, it's like nothing affected it. It just turned around and walked away like, seen what I need to see. Time to go.
How far away from you is this creature, Edmund?
At the most, 25 feet.
It's almost like your dog knew something you didn't know. If you would you describe what you saw? What stood out to you?
Well, it had the widest set of shoulders I had ever seen. And it had a conical head. But the face, it was very human-like. Even down to the nose, the bridge of the nose. It was not wide and flat. It looked very human. But you could see underneath the hair, and it definitely was hair. It was not a fur. You could see the muscle definition. And, you've heard people describe things that look like Chewbacca or something like that. Well, it kind of did, but it was like Chewbacca's bigger brother. And the thing about it is, when it turned around and walked away, I didn't really hear limbs or anything crunching under its feet. And, there's a lot of underbrush and stuff through where it was at. But for about the first 5 or 6 steps, I felt it because I was still laying there on the ground. I'm getting cold chills right now thinking about it because it was an amazing thing. And when you're a kid, you don't realize, man, I just saw something nobody else ever sees.
Did you get a sense that it was male or female?
It was definitely male. That was all there in the forefront to be seen by everybody. And he was just huge. And his arms, I'm picturing it right now in my mind. He could have took his fingertips without bending over and put them right down below his knee. That's how long his arms were hanging down.
And I know that you're just a kid at this point, but I mean, did you know what it was? I mean, did you know what you were seeing? And did you tell anyone?
Oh, yeah, I've told everyone. Everybody in my family, I've told all these stories. And I have known about Bigfoot and Sasquatch my whole life because there was a couple of older people in our family that would tell stories about it, when they were kids seeing stuff like that. And, some of them had bad stories to tell, and some of them it was like, it was just something we knew was around. It didn't bother us. We didn't bother them. In Radcliffe, they called it the Woolly Man because they thought it was a homeless woolly man that lived in the woods right outside of Fort Knox. There's a little river town called West Point, Kentucky, and that's where these older women seen it when they were children. There was no major thoroughfare through there, and it was right by the river.
Yeah, there's no doubt a lot comes out of Kentucky for sure.